Well, hey everybody, Darin Garman, and welcome to this week's podcast where we're going to talk about a question I get a lot. And for some of you, this is really going to apply in a big way. For others of you, maybe not so much. But what I wanted to do is go over three things. And what these three things are the three easy things, okay? Three easy things you can do to get people to do business with you. Okay? Three easy things you can do in order to get people to want to, have an interest in, and really want to do business with you. And this can apply in basically most everything. And what I'm finding is when I talk with a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, they're trying to shortcut around what I'm going to go over with you on this podcast. They're trying to find what's called the hack or a tips. So really what they're saying is, hey, what's the shortcut in me going from where I am now to having a whole shit ton of money from this business and having market share or whatever it is with whatever business I'm involved in. Because if you're in business, the main reason you're in business, well, it should be the main reason, is to make a profit. Okay? Along the way, yes, you're going to help people, you're going to fill a need, maybe you're even going to give money to your favorite charity or to your favorite cause. That's all part and parcel of everything. But you shouldn't be in business unless you're looking to make a profit that you can enjoy from your hard work, right? So, what I'm finding though is people having an interest in everything I just said. Okay? Yeah, I'd like to have my own business. I'd like to start my own business. Good. Or if you already have your own business, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're an investor, whether you have your own small business or even larger business, what I'm going to cover with you is huge. And what I find is a lot of people try to go around what I'm going to cover, and it ends up causing them problems, frustrations, and slows down their progress. So let's talk about the three easy things you can do to easily get people to want to do business with you. Now, before I give you these three things, here's like a caveat. Never did I say these are three things you're going to want to do. Never did I say these are the three things that are simple and don't require much work. I never said that. I'm just going to give you the three easy things you can do to get people to have interest and want to do business with you versus anybody else. Okay? All right, here you go. First thing you have to do is you have to build a relationship with them. Okay? Relationship. Okay? And I'm going to put right here cold calling. So the first thing you got to do is you got to build a relationship with them. Why in the hell would I want to do business with somebody I don't know? Am I more likely to do business with somebody I do know and have a relationship with versus somebody I don't know? Okay? This is where cold calling comes in. Not because it's helpful, it's actually a problem. Now, before I go any further, let me just say I've made 985,343 cold calls, and I'm probably actually not counting all of them. And if you are looking to capitalize on something and you have no other means at your disposal to start building a relationship with people, this is where you have to start. But I want you to think about this. Think about yourself. How receptive are you to someone that's cold calling you for something? Huh? When's the last time you got a cold call regarding something? And how receptive were you? How interested were you in really talking to them about what they had to say? My guess is more than likely you were interested in getting rid of them as fast as possible, weren't you? pretty much. Why? Because there's no relationship there. No relationship. A cold call is not a relationship. Cold calling, as I said, is fine if you've got no other means at your disposal. You've got to start dialing for dollars and looking for someone that at that moment, at that specific time, has the need for your product or service. The odds of that, by the way, are like this, just so you know. That's why a lot of people get burnt out making cold calls, get frustrated, because 99.9% of them don't turn into anything. I'm not discouraging cold calling, I'm just saying that's the fact. And the main reason why is because relationships. So the first thing you got to do, if you want somebody to do business with you, is you got to build a relationship with them. Well, how in the hell do I do that, Darin? How do I do that? Aside from maybe getting a referral from somebody, aside from, doing a transaction with your brother, sister, uncle, aunt, grandmother, whatever, how do I build a relationship with somebody? It's easy. Easy answer. Let's find out how easy it is to do. You communicate with them. You communicate value to them. And the key word here is consistently. So I have a lot of people call me and ask me, how can they crack the code? How can they get people that own their own apartment communities to call them and sell them their properties? Okay, so in other words, I've got lots of people calling me and asking me, sending me emails, hey Darin, I'm interested in buying multifamily property, really other commercial investment property for that matter. How do I get these owners? How do I get these landlords to contact me, take my phone call, want to talk to me about possibly selling me their property at some point in time? Maybe not now, maybe sometime in the future. How do I get to that point? By consistently communicating value to them. That's how you get to that point. Let me give you an example. So, about a month ago, we just put under contract, and we're going to be purchasing and closing here in probably a couple of months, a 144 unit property. Okay? 144 unit property. Here's what happened. The owner of this 144 unit property contacted me and basically said, hey, you and I, we've been communicating a lot over the years. You've been communicating with me, and I'm finally at a point where I'm thinking I might want to sell. Would you have an interest in buying? Well, of course I said yes. And here we are. We're going to be closing on this here in less than 60 days. How did that happen? I consistently communicated value to this owner month after month, year after year, for years. Consistently. Okay? I didn't just call him once every year and say, hey, you have an interest in selling, and figure I'd done my job. I didn't just send him an email once in a while saying, hey, interested in selling, and figured I did my job. No, I communicated with him about how to decrease property taxes, how to increase the value of your apartment community, how to do better with rent collections, how to go ahead and do the necessary improvements that will actually add money to the bottom line, how to use IRA and 401k money in terms of either buying something else or or having people invest in your property, etc., etc., etc. Consistently communicated value and things of interest to this owner. And what's the result? He wanted to do business with me. So, what's better? Cold calling or consistently communicating value to who it is you want to do business with? And by consistently, I'm saying once a month. How many of you just kind of got a bad feeling in your gut after I said that? Probably a lot of you. So I've got good news and bad news of what I just talked to you about, what I just went over. All right, good news and bad news. Let's talk about the bad news first. about building a relationship with somebody that you want to do business with. Okay? Here's the bad news. The bad news is it's going to take a lot of frickin' work. It is. It's going to take a lot of work. And by the way, what that means is it's not going to be as easy as buying the new software program. It's not going to be as easy as hiring some virtual assistant somewhere to do something for you. It's not going to be as easy as just handing it off to somebody. You're going to have to work at this. You've got to deserve to be able to have that business. You have to. There's no easy way out here. So that's the bad news. There's no easy way out. It's going to take work. Monthly communication of value and things of interest to that person you want to do business with. Because here's what happens when you do that. You do that. Work on it. Month after month. You continue to work on it. All of a sudden, you go from what my mentor, Dan Kennedy, says, you go from a pest to an invited guest. I'm going to say that again. You go from a frickin' pest, cold caller, to an invited guest. Let's talk, let's chat. When I'm in town, let's actually maybe have a beer and talk to each other about some things. That's what happens when you do this. Okay? Here's the good news. That was part one of good news. Here's the other part of the good news. Nobody else will probably do this. And when I say nobody else, that's probably an exaggeration. But for the most part, nobody will do it. So that leaves you head and shoulders above any kind of competition for the people you want to do business with. Why? Nobody else will do it. Why? They're too lazy. It's too much work. They don't see immediate results from it, so they end up quitting. Yeah. This is a biggie right here. But it takes frickin' work, folks. And monthly, you got to be doing it. There's a reason why the majority, 80+% of apartment communities in and around Cedar Rapids go through my office. I'm talking Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's because of this. Right here. How many other people doing what I do in the real estate world do any of this? Zero. Zero. Two reasons for that. One, because of all the things I just mentioned, it's a hell of a lot of work. Two, I've already totally eliminated the competition because now they can't even come into my world because of the foundation I have set because of what I'm doing. They're not even going to get close. The only time they're going to be able to do business with anybody that I'm communicating with and have a relationship with, they're either related to them or they get lucky. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay, so that's number one. Relationship. Build that relationship, okay? Remember, I said 3 easy things. I didn't say they're easy to do, but they're easy to know, easy to understand. This isn't like the big secret. Here's number 2. Do what you say you will do. I can't tell you what a big deal this is. How many people, how many times have you been affected negatively by someone that you were trying to do business with and they did not do what they said they would do? How many times? Just think about it. Probably dozens of times. I can think of dozens of things that transactions, things I've been involved in that I was negatively, I had a bad feeling, I'm not doing business with them again, I'm not even going to talk to them again, I'm not even going to think about them again because they didn't do what they said they would do. Pretty easy stuff. But again, a lot of people don't do what they say they would do. So, if I say I'm going to be at a certain place at a certain time, the only thing that's going to stop me from being there is if I'm either dead, I'm in a car accident, or I'm like in the hospital. That's it. That's it. Okay? Well, what do most people do? Well, you know, I really wasn't feeling that good that day. Or, well, something kind of came up and, yeah, can we reschedule? Or, well, you know, excuse after frickin' excuse. And all you want is someone that will do what they say they will do. This is a big deal. And as oversimplified as it may sound, if you are a person that does what they say they're going to do, you will get this. You will get this, my friend. You'll get a reputation. And you'll get a reputation for someone to do business with. Why? Because you do what you say you'll do. So let me give you another example. On 2 occasions this year, I've had apartment community owners contact me to buy their apartment property. Okay? I just mentioned one example. There's another one that just happened less than a year ago. They contacted me and basically said, hey, Darin, you know, we want to do business with you. Do you want to buy our apartment community? Of course, part of that was the relationship on number one, but the other part is I have a reputation. They know my reputation of doing what I say I will do. Okay? Doing what I say I will do. What do most people do? They don't do what they say they'll do. They'll say whatever they think the other person wants to hear. They'll, you know, try to figure stuff out later. Reputation. Do what you say you're going to do. And by the way, this applies to you whether you're trying to do business with somebody or you're working for somebody. You're working a job, you're really not doing business with somebody, but you're in a job or a career right now. Just doing this raises your reputation status like 200%. And pretty soon now you become the go-to guy. It can mean women too, but you become the go-to guy where you're at, just by doing what you say you're going to do. Why? Most people don't. Most people don't. Okay? All right, so number one, relationship. You want somebody to do business with you, you want to do better in your career or your job, you want to move up in your company faster, you want to go from the mailroom to the CEO quicker, all that kind of stuff. Number one, you got to build those relationships. Communication is key, like I said, right? And I gave you the example of monthly communication, all right? Second is doing what you say you're going to do, because that builds your reputation. That builds your reputation. All right? Now, number three is so simple. You're going to laugh. You're probably going to post some bad comments about number three. Okay? But I'm telling you, I'll get to it. Number three. Continue the relationship and doing what you say, here's the key, after. After the sale, I'll call it. Transaction, whatever it is. So it's basically after you have a transaction with somebody. So you've worked your tail off, you've been communicating month after month, you have been building your reputation, you've been doing what you say you're going to do every day in your business, focusing on those things. You finally get a transaction done with somebody. All right? You're finally doing business with that person or persons, that company that you've targeted for so long. Now what do? You continue after you're done. You don't just stop. You don't just stop. So, how many times has somebody gone through number 1 and 2 with you? They've communicated with you. They've built that relationship. You have a sense of trust with them now. You have a sense of comfort in dealing with them now. They're now your go-to person. Okay? Because not only that, but they do what they say they're going to do. You finally do business with them, then they disappear. They're gone. Where'd they go? What happened? I mean, that's it? They're gone? You never hear from them again. Worst thing you can do. Why? I'm not done yet. Not only that, how many people do you think I know that I could refer to you? How many? Probably quite a few. Right? So, I'll take it back to the world of real estate. So let's say I'm an investor. And I'm talking to commercial property owners in my market, and these are properties that I want to own. Okay? So I'm continuing to talk to them, I'm communicating, I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. Yeah, I'll send you this article about some ways to cut your property taxes that'll save you thousands of dollars. Okay? I send them the article. I do what I say I'm going to do. And I continue to communicate value to them. Finally, they contact me. Yeah, hey, let's work together on when we want to sell our property. You work with them, the property's sold. Either you sold it for them, maybe, or you bought it. Now what do? You don't just shut the faucet off. Why? They probably own more property. Or they know somebody that does. Now, once in a while, you'll do business with someone where maybe it's their very last transaction, that very last thing, that's it. So maybe it might make sense to back off a little bit. But the worst thing you can do is push the pause button and never be heard from again. How many people have you done business with that they've done this to you? Let's use a couple of examples. I'm going to pick on car salesmen. When's the last time the guy or the woman that sold you your vehicle, when's the last time they contacted you after the sale? If you're like me, I don't hear from anybody. I don't hear from anybody. And I buy some pretty good vehicles. I don't hear from anybody. I'm hearing all the great things when we're buying, but once it's done, I don't hear from anybody. Right? Let's talk about insurance. Okay? So, health insurance, for example. So, Gina and I, we pay a shit ton of money every single month for health insurance. And it's just basically her and I. I mean, the older you get, it doesn't get any less expensive. How many times do I hear from my guy that I have my health insurance from? Each and every year about health insurance or anything else. You want me to tell you how many times? Fucking zero! Zero. Right? Now, what are the odds I'm going to be doing business with the same people that either sold me that vehicle or health insurance? Am I going to be doing business with them again? Am I going to be referring people to them? Probably not. Probably not. Why? They stopped. Pushed the pause button, moved on. So I've just given you 3 easy things. And I did that because I get this question a lot. And the question again centers around, Darin, how do I get people to want to do business with me? Want to talk to me, interact with me? You know, I've got something I think could be of value to them. How do I get them to, you know, do business with me, want to talk to me about this? Let me cover it again. The first thing you got to do is you got to build that relationship. It's going to start out rocky and hard. Okay? You got to earn their trust. How do you do that? By communicating with them consistently. Not just a cold call every quarter, not just sending them a direct mail piece once a year, all right? Not just sending them an email a couple times a year, every freaking month at a minimum. You communicate value, how you can help them, information they can use consistently. And it doesn't matter what area you're in. Again, whether you're a business owner, salesperson, entrepreneur, or you're in the corporation or your company trying to work your way up to where you want to be. Same thing. Consistent communication and relationship building. Easy, right? Hard to implement because it takes frickin' work. How many people do the work? Hardly any. Will you be rewarded if you do? Yeah. Will you be rewarded? Try to say that 7 times fast. Okay, but that's what will happen. All right? Number 2, do what you say you will do. Pretty damn simple. But we all know, we've all had the experience of dealing with people that didn't do what they frickin' said they would do. Right? We do. Do what you say you will do, because that builds your reputation as the go-to guy or girl or gal or person. Again, one of the main reasons people want to do business with me, all right, is because of that. I do what I say I'm going to do. And then number 3, after that transaction, after you do business with somebody, after that promotion, after whatever it is, you don't just push the pause button and then forget about it. You continue with number 1 and number 2. So, what I've talked about here really doesn't have a lot specifically to do with investing, real estate, multifamily, all that kind of stuff, right? But in a way, it has a lot to do with not only that, but with a question I get from people all the time, which is, how do I get people to want to do business with me? You do those 3 things I just mentioned. You do them consistently, and I'm going to tell you, you'll have no problem in getting people to do business with you for as long as you want, all right? Have a great day, have a great week or weekend, whenever you listen to me. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of our podcast. We'll talk to you later. See you. Bye-bye.